Good morning, everyone. Just doing a test here to see if our sound is working. Let's just check. Yes, it is. Let's just check here on the phone. Let's just check. How are you guys today? Are you guys enjoying? I mean,
How are you guys today?
the weather is good. Um, so it's nice to have you all here today. Let me just check here on Facebook, on YouTube. It's working. Okay. Okay, we have our great friend here, Cynthia. Morning, Cynthia. Long time we don't see. Camila, thanks for your presence as usual. Miss you and miss you all, of course. Camila was there all the time. Bertinha, meu amor, here. She's studying. Kaká, great Kaká, great food. Okay, we have our great Samantha who is back here in Ireland and is going to be helping us. Is going to be here with us. We're going to be, meeting so once it's possible, of course. So it's nice to have you all here, guys, today. We have our great friend Linda here also from America. Morning, Linda, and morning, everyone from the United States, from everywhere in Europe, from Brazil. We know now for Brazil the time is quite different because in Brazil it's quite early, but sometimes you have people from Brazil even now on the speeches on Sunday, but normally you have more people from Brazil on Tuesday and Thursday. Okay, guys. So in order for us to start, I'm gonna do our initial prayer as usual. So I'm gonna be inviting. Let me just check here if everyone is here. Okay, I'm gonna be inviting everyone who feels comfortable to close their eyes, to take a deep breath, to try to calm down our minds and our thoughts, try to elevate our vibration, directing our thoughts to God, to the good spirits, to our Master Jesus, and to all mentors of the Spirit Society of Ireland, to Dr. Bezerra de Menezes, who supports a lot the Spiritist movement here in Europe, to our mentor, who is our great friend, great friend. Let's try to concentrate ourselves only at this present moment, only in today, in the next hour, in the next minute. Let's try to feel ourselves here and appreciate the moment that we have, to appreciate the here and now, and trying to forget about the future. I would like to ask the presence of all the good spirits in order to help us with this talk here today. Thank God for the opportunity of being here one more time talking about Spiritism and the Gospel of Jesus. Thank you, and so be it. Okay, let's just. Okay, guys. So the topic today, guys, is the salt of Earth. Okay, let me just see if I can improve, make it bigger. Okay, I think that's the maximum size I can make it, but that's okay. Let me just do it here. Just 1 second, guys, to make it easier here for me. Okie dokie. Okay. Okay, so I think we're going to start. Okay, guys, so once we talk about the South of Earth, basically, and when I say here, understanding our role in the transformation, we have to understand which transformation we are talking about, okay? So here, we have in the Gospel of Matthew, this beautiful passage, which, let me just see here, sorry guys, yeah. So this beautiful passage here, where Jesus says, you are the salt of earth, but if the salt loses its saltness, How can it be made salt again? It's no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot or under our foot. I'm not sure of the translation. But so here we're going to be talking about this passage here of the Bible, but actually we're going to have to be talking, as I said, about the transformation. Which transformation I'm talking about here? Which transformation Spiritism talks quite a lot? And here we are talking about the planetary transition of Earth. Okay, and I know it's gonna sound a bit, it's gonna sound maybe a little bit strange, but I have to create the way which I'm thinking to try to go back to the south of Earth. Okay, but once we are talking about the transformation or to the planetary transition, we have to understand that there are some essential aspects once we are talking about this change which Earth started red, but it's right on the beginning, right, very, very beginning, and we're gonna go through, in the next decades. The first one is the existence of God or some kind of high spiritual life, high evolved being. Because if you don't believe in God or if you don't believe in any high evolved kind of spirit, you're not going to be understanding the transformation that we are talking about on Earth in the way that Spiritism teaches us. And not only Spiritism, just to let you know, guys, this kind of change, this change of the status of Earth, it's been said many times in the Bible by Jesus. It's been said in the Old Testament. It's been said so many times by the Hindus, by the Muslims also. It's been said several times, not many times, but by the Hindus, by the Buddhists, and many other religions, and many other civilizations, old civilizations, once you have the guys who came before the Romans, the Etruscans, once you have the Babylonians, all these people, they believe that there will be a stage on that there will be a transformation on Earth, and this transformation would be for good. So they always thought, Jesus said many times in the Bible that there will be the time that we're going to be splitting the, how you call, the ships with the other animals. I forgot the name of the animals. Or when Jesus said that we're going to be splitted, the good ones here, the bad ones here, and the apocalypse. Many old traditions talks about this. Okay, I will have Patricia here. Hi, Patricia. Good morning, our great friend. So let's keep going. So another essential belief that we have to have once you are talking about the transformation or the planetary transition, which is that the world progress, the universe progress, everything progress in the universe. So nothing is stationary. So nothing's just here and it's going to be like this forever. So we must believe in the law of progress, of the march of progress, which is said in the Spirit's book. And we have to also to believe or to comprehend that all these changes, all the universe, it's quite harmonic. So all this change will be a harmonical change, even though for our eyes it does not seem harmonical at all. And we're going to be explaining why. Okay, so these are the essential aspects once you talk about planetary transition, world, Earth coming from the world of atonement and expiations, going through the world of regeneration. These are very basic aspects, okay, guys? There are many more aspects here that we can talk about, but otherwise, if I do this, we're going to be here until tomorrow, which there will be no problem, but it's a lot to talk, okay, guys? So I'm trying to reduce a lot. So if I'm missing something here, guys, from this topic, please forgive me, okay? My mess here is in focus. Let's go back to myself. Have Juliana here again, our great friend. Good morning, Ju. Okay, we go here to the Gospel according to Spiritism. This message, I love this message. Me and Stephen, we spoke about this message, I'd say 2 weeks ago, once we were doing our studies on Tuesday. But in the Gospel according to Spiritism, chapter 1, item 10, the Spirit of Fenelon says to us, this revolution which prepares itself is more moral than material. The great spirits who are divine messengers instill faith amongst you, so that you all who are enlightened and zealous works may make their humble voices heard. So here, the Spirit of Fenelon says to us, hey, do not expect this change to be occurring by cars flying, we being able to teletransport ourselves like this from today to tomorrow. Do not expect great things, great changes in the material world. But this change, the main aspect will be the moral change. Of course, there are many changes in the scientific aspect. There are many changes in society. We have seen the last century how much we have progressed with scientifically speaking. Yes, but he says still that the biggest change is moral, and we're gonna see why it's moral. Okay, so he's saying that these spirits who are the divine messengers of God, is going to be helping us. Their voice is going to be heard. So spirits who are more evolved than us will help to the voice of good to be heard, to the voice of not God per se, but the voice of God. But what I'm trying to say is not the religious God that we are talking about here. In this part here, we are not talking about religion at all, even if you are using the Spiritist background for it. But we are using more the scientific aspect of Spiritism here, just to clarify, okay? And Fenelon ends this message saying, the law of the world is the law of progress. So what Fenelon is saying here to us, that this change which is about to occur, and it's occurring right now, there is nothing related to anything mystical or religious. It's something which is natural. It's a natural change which Earth is passing through. It's a natural change. It's not the first time with that change, by the way, guys. We have had this kind of change on Earth for since its creation over 4.5 billion, not million, billion years ago. So these changes in the globe, it's keep happening, and also in the universe. But Fenelon says to us, the law of the world is the law of progress. So we must progress as a world and as a society, as beings. And here, where it gets, at least for myself, quite interesting, because I love the Genesis book. This one here, I have only Portuguese, unfortunately. I don't have that version in English yet. I'm about to get. But here in the Genesis chapter 18, I believe is the 18. Oh, sorry for my numerical, Greek numerical um, lack of knowledge, guys. It's chapter 18. Yeah, 18. Sorry, guys, I'm terrible with this Greek Roman numbers. In the chapter 18, the book Genesis by Allan Kardec from 1868, that is this last chapter. The time has arrived. Signs of the time, the new generation, which are subtopics in the book. But here, these messages, they come from three spirits, if I'm not mistaken. Galileo, the great physician, Arago, which was another great astronomer and physician in France, and Dr. Berry, which, to be honest, I don't remember who he is properly, but I think he's an English physicist, if I'm not mistaken. But about Dr. Berry, I'm not sure. Okay, but this last chapter is mainly given by these three spirits. Okay, the messages, and here the message says, our globe, like all which exists, is submitted to the law of progress. It progresses physically by the transformation of the elements which compose it, morally by the purification of the incarnated and discarnated spirits who people it, so who are around, who are living on it. So here the spirits gives to us a very kind of enlightening understanding. So here our globe is keeping progressing, as we said, and it keep changes the elements. Once you take about the time of dinosaurs, for example, we have many more hurricanes happening. We have many more active volcanoes. We have many more tsunamis going on around. So Earth was like a teen, a teenager, with a lot of power, with a lot of testosterone, and but Earth now is cooling down, is calming down. We don't have many eruptions of volcanoes anymore like we had before. Yes, we still have the tsunamis, like the one which destroyed the Japanese coast several years ago, but it's much less than before. So Earth itself is cooling down. The elements which is around Earth, they are also kind of adapting to itself, so it's becoming something more harmonical. But as it says here, morally, the purification of the incarnated and discarnated spirits who are on it. So Also earth is progressing because the spirits which are living on earth is progressing also. And I mean spirits, I'm talking about ourselves, incarnate and discarnated spirits, because spiritism teaches us that there are surrounding areas around earth which we can call spiritual colonies. The most famous one in the spiritist movement is the Nosular or Astral City. But Astral City and Nosular is one of millions of colonies around earth. So the spirits which are related to earth, they are living around earth, but it's invisible to us, but not to the spirits. Okay, so the progress of the two is parallel. So it's parallel one. For the habitation becomes perfecting according to the degree of the perfection of its inhabitants. So the progression of the spiritual world, which I'm talking about, the spiritual colonies and the spiritual and the progress here on earth works in parallel, works all together. What we do here affected there. What they do there affect us. Of course, we are talking about Earth. So once we are talking about these spiritual colonies surrounding Earth, do not think that they are paradises. Okay, the spiritual colonies around Earth, they have spirits which are in similar vibration to us. They are not angels yet. Of course, once you are talking about other planets, about other stars, where they have the physical beings living there, physical, not like us, but their spiritual world is much more evolved than ours, you know. uh, so I have just Patricia saying here that there is another tsunami, there is another tsunami alert about this, about Japan right now. Thanks for Patricia for letting us know. I hope the good spirits they work there as they always do. I'm sorry for them. I hope everything, gets better, but I hope that people they won't suffer as much as they suffered before. But I'm gonna keep an eye on it. Thanks, Patricia. So going back here, guys, so the habitation, so the planet itself, it's improving because the beings who are here on earth, so the animals and ourselves and the spirits around earth are improving also, because the earth cannot improve itself without us improving first. And that's what we're going to be talking about here. That's when we're going to be talking about the south of earth a little bit more. Okay, so here physically the globe has been submitted to transformations ascertained by science, which have successfully rendered it inhabitable for beings more and more perfected. So physically here on earth, as we have with science has showed us that earth is getting better. Earth, as I said here now, earth is getting a bit more calm. So earth is getting more like a good place for spirits which are a little bit more elevated, not angels. Okay, there is no angels among us here. Do not think about this. Okay, we are all spirits in progress. Oh, okay. Morally, humanity progressed by the development of intelligence and the moral sense of gentleness of manners. And here, guys, you guys can check a little bit more in the Spirit's book, question 192, 365, and 708. These three questions talk a little bit more about this progress that we have here between the spiritual world and our physical world, and how our and moral and intelligence develops altogether. But here Kardec explains to us, the spirit explains to us, not Kardec, that normally the intelligence progresses first and then the moral comes behind. Why? Because once we are more intelligent, once we know more about our surroundings, once we understand more about science, we start to take better decisions. Of course, there are some people who, even knowing a lot, they still taking bad decisions and still want to do only badness. They still want to do bad things. They still only wants to act with selfishness and pride in their heart. But we're going to be talking about this in the next slides. So here, Kardec explains to us, the spirits are explaining to us, the progress there goes hand to hand together. Morally speaking, the moral aspect is always, not always, but normally is left behind. But it's like this, And here, still in the Genesis, item 4, the universe is at the same time an incommensurable mechanism conducted by the number of less incommensurable of intelligence, an immense government where every intelligent being has, has its active part assigned, him under the eye of the sovereign master, whose unique will maintain unity everywhere. So here, guys, the universe, what the spirits are trying to say to us, the universe is not lost. It's not like just left there over by chance, as some people say. The universe progress itself by chance, and it's a chaos. It's a chaos, yes, but it's a controlled chaos, okay? But in this universe works this high evolved intelligence, who are working for God. We call this in Andre Luis workers, that is an expression, co-creators in high plans, in high evolved plans. These are these spirits, which Jesus is one of them, is one of the spirits, not the only spirit, high evolved spirits who are helping and supporting the progression of the universe. But here on earth, according to Spiritism, we are not here to say that's true for everyone. Everyone may believe in what they want to believe. But for us, Spiritists, Jesus is the high evolved, is the most evolved spirit who helps God Himself to keep the progress of earth. And here he keeps going. It's not only the development of intelligence which is necessary to man, it's the elevation of the sentiment. So what he's saying to us, you can have scientists who knows how to control quantum physics, who knows how to send rockets to the furthest galaxy in the universe. But if these very intelligent people, they do not elevate their sentiment, they are useless. They are like in the parable of the salt of earth, as we're gonna be seeing. They do not serve for their purpose, their proper purpose, because Kardec explains to us that intelligence, it's only for one purpose here in this material, has only one purpose here on earth, which is to make society to progress, to ourselves to progress, to make humankind to progress, and not only progress in the means, as we are saying, about the material. Of course, science works more in the material aspect, it's for sure. But here, it's saying to us, it has to work with the sentiment, it has to work with the heart, otherwise it's useless. And then it keeps going. And for that reason, it's necessary to destroy all that which excites the undo of selfishness and pride. Kardec asks the spirits, what's the worst thing for the spirits to evolve? And the spirit says selfishness and pride. And here the spirits again saying to us that for the reason it's necessary to destroy everything which excites selfishness and pride. And once we are talking here about this here, where we have this high evolved spirit which are helping God, and here once we are talking about selfishness and pride, you can fit both, quite well, I believe, in these two parables, the parable of the works of the vineyard and the parable of the talents. One of the parables talks about that each one of us, we have our important role in the transformation. We are all important workers. The other ones explains to us how we have to lose our fears to keep progressing and in using the talents which life gives to us, the opportunities. So I leave these two names here. If anyone wants to go and see, please search. I love these two parables, but they talk a little bit about this part that we are covering right now here. Let me see here. We have Dani. Good morning, Dani. Okay. And here, guys, we keep going the Genesis still. In the item 6, in these times, it won't be about partial changes only. A renovation limited to one country or to one people or nation, nor to one race. So what is he saying to us? These changes won't come only for one group of people or to one race or to one country. Yes, the Spirit explains to us that the changes, the great renovations for humanity, it starts somewhere. So as we have in the French Revolution, some ideas which are helping us still, or once you have the Greeks with their philosophy more than 2,000 years ago, once we have Jesus explain to us about the importance of love for us to progress. Yes, this change, it comes in one place first, but does not stay in that place forever. It keeps spreading. So that's why it says here, this, it won't be partial change for only one group or for one race. Everything, this everywhere on globe must be um, must feel, must live these changes which are about to happen. That's why it says it's a universal movement, okay, which is operating in a moral progress, a new order of things which is being established. So it's a universal change. It's not only for us, it's not for spirits, it's not spiritists, it's not for Catholics, it's not for Buddhists, it's not for atheists, it's not for anyone only, for one group of people, for Americans, for Brazilians, for Europeans, for Asians. No, it's for everyone. But of course, it starts somewhere, okay, and then keep spreading. The new world, the old world will die and live in history like the Middle Ages with its barbaric customs. It's a remember of the present. So what is he saying here to us? All this kind of selfishness and pride. We have an example now for how women used to be treated before in the Middle Ages. Do you know? Now, thank God, we have this power of women power. Yes, you know. It's good because women now, according to Joana de Angelis, is the great center for women now, because now we have less need for power and for force, but we are in need of love, of care, and women have their much more that than men. Of course, women are strong, but when I mean strong, I'm not talking about muscles, but women are stronger in their heart. That's why Joana de Angelis says to us, that's the center of the women. So here we are seeing that all these old traditions, they're gonna die, and in the future we're gonna be thinking as if these things, they were barbaric. You guys have an example. I can give an example now. I love meat, guys. I'm sorry for all the vegans there. I love meat, but I know that the future of earth is to eat no more animals in the future. But it is slow, as it says here. It starts somewhere and keeps spreading. So the future of Earth is to be it will be to not be eating animals anymore. But some people like me, who perhaps need or perhaps like, we are still eating animals, unfortunately. But in the future, that won't happen anymore. And in the future, in 300 years time, once people, they study in their history's books that we used to eat a lot of animals, they're gonna think like us. Oh, these people, they were so barbaric, they were so um, left behind, they were not evolved at all. Like we talk about history, once we talk about the barbaric times, we think like this sometimes, about people in the past, and they're gonna be seeing us like this, in the future. And here we have this message which is really quite strong from François Arago, a French physicist. So if anyone wants to know a little bit more about him, I highly recommend to search. He was a really important man in his time in France. Arago, he was a physicist, a politician. I think he was also related to the army, but a man ahead of his time. And he says in this part of this message, because the message is quite bigger than this. When you are told that humanity has arrived at the period of transformation, and that Earth must rise within the hierarchy of the worlds, do not find anything mystical in these words, but on the contrary, see it as the fulfillment of one of the greatest fatal laws of the universe, against which all ill disposition of humanity will collapse. When I read this message, I said, okay, let me read again, and I was like reading this message several times. But what Arago says to here, basically, guys, all the traditions, as we said in the beginning, they are talking about this transformation for more than 10,000 years. They are saying to us, things will change. Even in music, we have Renato Russo, a great musician, Brazilian musician. At least I really love his work. Um, when he talks in the song Perfeição or Perfection, that things are about to change. We have many artists, even some songs of Beatles, when they are talking about these change, one John Lennon say, all you need is love. When you have Imagine, his beautiful song, the beautiful song of John Lennon, which is one of the most beautiful songs of last century. All these songs, all these artists, they kind of feel, because here God says to us in the Genesis that when these changes they start to occur, we have on us a kind of an inner feeling that something is about to change, but we don't know what it is. We have this sensation that things they must change. Society starts to feel not so comfortable anymore. They want something new. They want some kind of to live in a different system. And a different way of thinking, perhaps. But here, so what God says to us, don't think that's like because Jesus said, because the Buddhists they said, don't think that it's a mystical thing. And God is saying to us, on the contrary, that's one of the greatest fatal laws of the universe, which is the law of progress. Everything must progress. This law is not spiritism which is creating this law. This law is a universal law which says everything, every galaxy, every star, every being, every atom, every plant must progress. We see by our body, guys, for example, when we were in the caves, we used to have more hair. We used to our bodies used to be bent like this a little bit more. We used to be, we used to look like more like animals, like monkeys, for example. Like Darwin said, we came from the monkey, from the apes. But now look how our body is. And André Luiz says to us, and Kardec says to us also in the Genesis, that in high evolved spirits, the physical body is different. It's still the formation of the physical body, but it's different. It's more lapidated. It looks better, looks finer than us. So here, and it says then, um, ill disposition of humanity must collapse. What he's trying to say to us here, that we have here. Sorry, guys, let me just bring this up, and then you guys can see. We have in the question 781 from the Spirit's book, when the Spirit says to Kardec that the progress can be held, but it cannot be stopped by humankind. So what Kardec is asking, can all these people who are really evil, who are only doing bad things to each one of us, who are controlling, who are maybe politicians who are destroying their countries, like we have nowadays in some places, can this evil or spirits who are still a bit rebel, who do not want the progress, hold the progress? The spirits book says, question 781, no, they can't. They can hold the march of progress, they can hold the march of progress, but they cannot stop forever. That's why here Aragos says, ill disposition of humanity collapses. It must collapse, and it will collapse, guys, even if you want or if you don't want. The change they will come to us. And there is no way of fighting against it. Okay. Okay, let me see here. We have Maria, our great friend. She used to be one of the most important workers that we had here before, several years ago, but now she's in Brazil. Thanks, Maria, for being here. We miss you. Okay. And here in the Genesis, in the item 27, we have this part called the new generation. And in item 27 it says, in order that man shall be happy upon earth, it's necessary that it must be inhabited with good spirits only, incarnate or discarnate, who desire only good. So that's what we were saying before. If we want earth to be a good, to be like in that gospels papers that we see, that sometimes people, our friends of the Protestant movement give to us, where we have elephants, we have lions, we have only kind of beautiful people, everyone happy, that kind of pamphlets that people give to us on earth. If you want earth to be something like this, we must improve. Not earth only, but we must improve first. Okay? Those who return evil for evil, and in whom the desire to do right is not felt, being unworthy of the transformed state of earth, will be banished from it. So those ones who only wants to do evil for evil, they want to fight back, they only want for them, They still only have pride and selfishness in their heart. The good for them is only the good only for themselves and for those who they love, not the good for everyone. Those kind of spirits, they're not going to be able to stay here on earth anymore. That's what it says here. But of course, when we say that they're not going to be able to live here on earth anymore, we have to remember first that God is good. God is a loving father, like Jesus used to call God Abba, uh, paizinho. I think in English would be my dad, little dad, or something like this. With when we say little dad in a kind of a more passionate way of saying, But Jesus used to call Abba paizinho, God, Abba, Paizinho. So he saw God as this loving father. So since God is a loving father, we cannot say, okay, those spirits who are here, who are still rebel on earth, they cannot live on earth anymore. They're gonna be sent to hell. No, there is no hell. That's what Spiritism brings to us. But where they're gonna be living? They're gonna be living in a place where their intelligence will serve quite well in a more primitive place, but where their sentiment is more balanced, their moral level is more in balance with those locations. It's like this: if you have a kid who always fails in the third year of school, in the first, I don't know, terceira série, third year of school, I don't know what is equivalent here in Ireland, but is always failing certain year in their school, okay, and it keeps failing, that kid cannot go with the other kids who keep passing and maybe goes to college. But that kid cannot also be taken away from the school and say, you are useless, go and only do hard work. No, that kid which perhaps has some difficulty to learn, or maybe don't want to learn, is a rebel kid, must be put in a class where other kids are like them, okay? So not be taken out from the school. And the school here, we are talking about earth. We are talking about have the chance to reincarnate. But here it says, okay, sorry. So earth, let me see, and whom the desire to do right is not felt, being worth of the transformed state of earth, who will be banished from it, because they will bring only trouble and confusion and would be an obstacle to progress. So that's what we are saying. So if that kid, it goes to college with their colleagues, their friends, his friends, he won't only disturb the college, he won't only disturb the class where he is. That's what God does. He takes that spirit and put it somewhere else, but he does that with love and care. We have to remember this, that spirit is not something cold. That's when I'll be talking a little bit more here. But spiritism is something which brings this element of love, like Jesus brought to us. But this love now with some kind of rational thoughts. That what we Stephen always say here, the rational faith, which makes us to understand that science and religion works together, hand to hand. Intelligence and moral works together. That God, if God created love, he would be not someone who would take these spirits and throw somewhere. So that's why there is no existence of hell, okay? So the new generation is this: these spirits, only good spirits who deserve, who wants good things, will be here, and more good spirits will come here. Oh, for sure, many spirits are coming already to earth. Joana de Angelis says to us, Chico Xavier used to say to us, through Emmanuel, many other spirits says that in psychographic books. But here in the Genesis it says the same, that this kind of exchange of intelligence always occur. It's not the first time that an intelligence being comes to earth. So these people that we admire in society, Gandhi, Chico Xavier, Martin Luther King, or maybe the apostles, Jesus, yes, but he is on a different level. All these good beings, all these scientists who perhaps were atheists, but great vaccines for us to help society. All the workers now who are working the vaccines now, all these good workers, they are there, and they are spirits which probably or perhaps came from a different place in the time of the transformation that we are seeing now, to help us to progress. So intelligence, they exchange places, okay? And now we come to the parable. And now people they say, ah, Wanderley, that speech that you are giving must be a clickbait, because you said you were going to talk about the salt of Earth, and you're just talking about the planetary transition, about transformation. But that's look, remember the first slide, understanding your role in the transformation. But in order to us to understand our role in transformation, we have to understand which transformation we are talking about. We have to understand that's not something mystical. We have to understand that that's not mere words said by Jesus or by other prophets, by other spirits which came to earth. It's not something mystical at all. It's not something which Spiritism created. It's something which belongs to the natural progress of the universe. It's a natural law. That's why we have to explain a little bit about the transformation. But here in Matthew, Jesus says to us, Matthew 13, 5:13, you are the salt of earth. But if the salt loses its saltness, how can it be made salt again? It's no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. So, guys, I said this before. I'm going to be repeating myself because I believe sometimes it's good to be repeating yourself. When Jesus say to us, "You are the salt of earth," let's remember the time that He lived. It's not the time that we live right now. Okay, it's not. In the time of Jesus, the salt had had a different meaning that we have now in society. Okay, remember the salt in the time of Jesus was something quite expensive, was something quite rare, wasn't something so easy that you get 30 cents, go to Tesco's and buy a bunch, a pot of salt. No, you don't buy it. You didn't buy salt like this before the time of Jesus. But salt in the time of Jesus was something really important, relevant to that society, to his society. That's why once you are reading a parable, or once you are reading a passage of the Bible or any old book, we have to try to put ourselves in that time. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. That's why a lot of people, when they read the Bible, they say, "Ah, that's quite absurd. That's ridiculous or even childish," because they are using their knowledge today to be examining something from 2000 years ago. Okay, so in the time of Jesus, salt had uh, several important aspects. One of them was to conserve food. So salt at the time of Jesus was used for not only in Jesus area, all over the world. Okay, in Asia, in here by the Indians, in Brazil by the Indians, here by the native Indians of Ireland of the UK, whatever, everywhere around the world, 2000 years ago, salt used to be used to conserve food. So food, there was no fridge at that time, remember? So food would go rotten really easily. So they used to take, especially meat, they used to take meat, put salt to conserve that meat. And also, salt has had many other aspects. But once we say here, you are the salt of earth, Jesus is saying to us or to the apostles, but we gotta be transferring that to us, that we are important. Because if salt was important in the past, was expensive, was very important to conserve food, and to many other aspects as we're going to be seeing here now, which is to enhance the taste of food, to clear wounds, for example, so to be using also as a medicine, to conserve temperature in the ovens that where they used to make bread. So if salt had all these important things, once he says we are the salt of earth, he's saying to us, hey, you are important. You are really important. But if the salt loses its saltness, how can it be made salt again? So you are important. Once we make our mistakes, once we keep, trying to hold the march of progress, how can we, you know, um, be valuable again? How can we salt again? Reincarnation helps us to understand quite a lot. That's why reincarnation here plays a huge role for in our self progress, because we are progressing, because we have several lives to keep progressing ourselves. But this is saying to us, if the salt loses its saltness, what's that good for? For nothing. You know, So that's why he says to us, if salt loses its saltness, how can it be made salt again? And it's no longer good for anything except to be thrown out in the trample of the underfoot. So if we don't understand our value, if you don't understand how important we are, if you don't keep progressing, if you don't understand how sensitive is this moment that we are living right now, we're gonna be perhaps losing a great opportunity to keep progressing, to keep maybe coming here to earth again, reincarnate and help this beautiful planet. So Jesus is saying to us, you are important, you are valuable. So go there and enhance people surround you, enhancing how? Being good to the others. That's why, the salt at the time of Jesus was something quite very important and valuable. So Jesus is trying to say to us, you are important, but you have to do your part. You have to be salt. You have to be used for the purpose that you are made. And what's the purpose that we were made, according to the Spirit's book? To perfect ourselves. That's here, guys. I have this slide. I have this question. What's your role in the transformation? Your role is quite simple. That's what I was saying. Your role here now is to progress, is to keep improving yourself, is to be good. That's why we say here that we must continue our process of self-improvement, which demands constant work. It requires good actions towards others, patience, forgiveness, self-awareness, and clarity of our bad tendencies and qualities. So if you don't understand the salt, if you put too much salt in food, what do we do with the food? We destroy that food. So once we don't have self-knowledge, sometimes we want to help someone with something that we learn the spiritism, and a spiritism speech or a spiritist book, or something that we learn in another philosophy or religion, or we hear something from our friend, and because we go with too much power, we want to say to the world, that's the change which is gonna change the world. We put too much power, we put too much salt, we destroy because people are scared by us. That's why we have to find a balance once we are talking about spiritism. We have to find this balance inside ourselves. But we have to be doing this how? In this constant process of try to improve what we have inside ourselves, to enhance what we have already, to enhance the goodness that we have. And part of this, guys, is to be helping the others. That we always say in the Spiritism, to be doing charity. I'm not gonna go into what is charity here, guys, because we said that so many times. But charity, guys, just to basically end this topic about charity, it's not only giving money to someone. It should be listening to someone. It should be kind with someone on the street. It should be kind with your colleagues at work, and many other things. So we're talking about spiritism is charity also, but of course, in the correct balance. When someone asks you about spiritism, not going to your friend and say, spiritism is this or that. No, that's not good for anyone. So we have to have this self-awareness and this clarity of our bad tendencies also in order to keep improving. So we have to have the good hand for adding salt in our food. Okay? And here, guys, we have this short book called Spiritism and in its simplest expression from 1861, which says in item 36, the true spiritist is not one who believes in its manifestations, but he who profits from the teachings given by the spirits. So if you think you are a spiritist because you believe that there is mediumistic effects, once you are, let's say, a medium, and you start to feel the influence of the spirits, or you go to a terreiro of Umbanda. Umbanda is an African Brazilian religion, beautiful, which has its purpose, as all other religions have its purpose in our society. Okay? And once you go to the African traditions, such as candomblé or any other kind of tradition which enhances mediumship, if you only see that, if you only believe in that there is some kind of good spirits, or if you only believe that God exists because of that manifestations, we are missing the point here. So the true spiritist or the true person who believes in spirits or believes that there is the communication of the spirit world cannot only believe because of the mediumistic manifestations, but it has to really embrace the teachings which these philosophies and religions they bring to you, the moral change, that it can help us to do. So as it says here, but who profits the teachings given by the spirits? It's useless to believe if this faith does not make one progress positively. Also, um, do the utmost for one's fellow creatures. So if you only believe in spiritism because of the physical effects, the mediumistic effects, or because we are talking here with beautiful words about the planetary transition, everything is useless if we don't take this to improve ourselves and also to help the other creatures, the other ones surrounding us. That's why, guys, here when Jesus says that you are the salt of earth, he's saying to us, do your parts. If you want to see earth changing from this more orange here, more fire globe, to a beautiful globe where everything's gonna be beautiful, where people they're gonna be nice to each other, where only goodness will be surround us, we must start doing our parts. Because if we don't, guys, we are like the salt of earth here, which is just going to be throwing, as it says here in the parable. Oops. So if you are not doing this, we're supposed to be like this salt here in the parable, just to be thrown away in the fire or in the under our foot, so we don't serve for anything. So we are here more or less for, I think we are doing lives. If Stephen is watching us, or Samantha, Juliana, I think we are doing lives for what, 1 year and 2 weeks, 1 year and 1 month. Do you guys remember? Because I don't, but it's more or less something like this. Okay, if we not if, but we are always talking in our lives about this, about how we must be, uh, this change that we want to see. If we are not doing this, guys, what's the purpose of we come here every Sunday at 11:15, or those who join our lives, on Tuesday and Thursdays, you know, what's the purpose? What's the purpose of being part of the study of the Spirit's book, or the medium's study, or whatever? What is the purpose of this if you're not trying to improve yourself? I'm not saying it's easy, guys. When I'm saying trying to improve ourselves, I'm not saying that because we know spiritism, we're going to be changing from day to night. We're going to be changing tomorrow. So now people who are watching this live here now they have the knowledge of the importance of the planetary transition. Now they understood this parable of Jesus. So tomorrow, yeah, people, they're going to be angels. Thank you, Samantha. Yes, around 1 year. So we're going to be angels tomorrow. No, we keep failing. We fell off and we try to raise again. We are like children, Stephen has two wonderful daughters, Juliana, two wonderful kids also. And all of them, like when we were kids, we are a bit rebel. We don't want to eat vegetables. We don't want to do this. We don't want to do that. We don't want to take shower, or something like this. We don't want to brush our teeth. We don't want to do good things, which is good for us. But thank God we have our parents who support us. But of course, there are kids, unfortunately, they don't have parents. They're in the orphanages. But even those spirits, they find someone in their own way to try to help them, to try to say to them, hey, try to do this. Once we start to get mature, we start to improve ourselves. So what's the purpose of us, using, if only be studying spiritism, if we don't try to change? We are like children. Once we fail, we have to restart again. So let's take these teachings here today that about the planetary transition, which, by the way, guys, we have to understand also here in the time that we are living, that in order for us to keep reincarnating on earth, we don't have to be perfect. We don't have to be angel. Because sometimes people, they come to me and say, Wanderley, sometimes you talk about the planetary transition. I hear Simão Pedro, Haroldo Dutra Dias, Divaldo Franco, and many other speakers talking about this. Juliana, she spoke here several times also about the planetary transition, you know. So many of us were talking about the planetary transition, and we are talking about the importance that we have, how we are salt of earth in other speeches that we give. Stephen has been doing that so many times, saying to us all the time, it's up to us. We have to understand ourselves. So once we are having, once we are talking about this, people, they come to me and say, Wanderley, am I good enough to stay reincarnating on earth? Am I gonna be good enough once I pass away to be reincarnating here? And yes, guys, don't worry. Don't think that you have to be perfect to be here reincarnating, because in the Genesis, I think in the posthumous obras póstumas of Allan Kardec, the posthumous works of Allan Kardec, the posthumous work, I don't know if I'm saying properly, sorry, but so many works of in the Spiritism, it says to us basically that we don't have to be these perfect beings, but what we must have in ourselves is like a signal that we must have in our perispirit to be reincarnated on earth. We have to have goodwill to try to progress. That's why the spirits, they say to us that so many spirits in the transition now, they are really evil spirits. They're gonna pass away and they're not gonna be reincarnated on earth for a long, long time, But even spirits who are really, really evil, once they passed away, they understand the spiritual world, the mistakes that they did. And then deep in their heart, they say, I want to change. And we are talking about high evolved spirits coordinating all this transition. So once the high evolved spirit sees that that spirit was evil on earth, once he realizes what he did on the spiritual world, he really wants to change, he still can come to reincarnate on earth on the beginning of the transition, of course. Once we are really like in the high stage of the world of regeneration, no more spirits who did evil would be here anymore. Only good spirits. So the spirits like us who are like in the, how you say, in the we are average spirits. We're still gonna be reincarnating here, guys. Don't worry. It's like you have in college. One person gets chosen the student of the year, but a lot of them, they pass because they are average students. They are not the best, but they are in the average. Those ones who won't be here reincarnating anymore, they are, as it says here in the text, those ones who only wants to do evil. We have to remember this, because otherwise we start to talk about to our friends and we start to say, oh, that politician won't reincarnate here anymore. Oh, that person won't be reincarnating anymore. You see, that person is so evil. We start to be judging. So we use our spiritist knowledge in order to do something good, to be judging the others, to say, you are good, you are bad. You are evolved spirit, you are not. Guys, stop doing this, because I know people, they come to me in private and they do this. I'm not saying that everyone here, perhaps everyone who is watching us here today, they are not doing this, because I don't only see here in this live today angels. I can see here we have Stephen, an angel, we have Juliana, Fabio, Patrocínio, all good spirits. So we are not talking about us, guys. We are angels here. Sorry, guys, I'm joking, of course. But guys, what I'm trying to say to us, guys, that perhaps we should be stopping doing this, what we are doing, using our spiritual knowledge in order to be judging the others. And do you know when people, they do this? When they take this thing here, guys, when they go to Facebook and they start to give harsh opinions about everything. We see people who in the spirit center, in the church, they go, oh, blessed my brother, peace upon you. But once they go to Instagram, they start to say bad things about people. Once they go to Facebook, they start to be really meaningful. I'm not saying that we cannot give our opinions in social media, but be careful with social medias, because there sometimes we will expose what is inside of our heart. So we really expose who we are, in fact. So let's take these teachings that we have here today, guys, not to be used against people, but in order to, for ourselves, to understand what's going on and how we can be part of this beautiful transformation. And remember, guys, once we take the Bible, Once we take the so many parables of Jesus, Jesus always said, that the word, the kingdom of heaven is about to come, the kingdom of God will come. Once he says this, he's saying to us, the change is about to come. And he wants everyone to be the salt of earth. He wants everyone to be working this amazing work that we have to do. But he said one thing which I keep repeating myself in my speeches, because for me it touched my heart quite a lot. When he says, none of the sheep that the Father gave to me would be lost. So no spirits given to Jesus would be lost in this transition. Even those rebel ones, they're gonna have their chance. Maybe not today, but in the future. Because remember, God is love. He's just, but He's love. He's a loving Father. Okay, guys. So that's the talk about today. I hope I didn't clickbait you guys saying that I was going to talk about something. But as I said, in order to be talking about certain things, you have to explain other things beforehand. Okay? So we have here some things that we'd like to let you guys know. If you guys want to know a little bit more about the Spiritist book that we said here today, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. we have our studies, which is done via Zoom, which Neide Mota, um, oh God, and Tanya Moore, they help us here. So guys, please send an email to us at spiritismisland@gmail.com, and they're gonna send the Zoom to Tanya and Neide. So if you guys want to know more about Spiritism, please feel free to join this study. Okay. Also, guys, we have every Tuesday and every Thursday we have our live, which starts at a 7:15. Okay. Um, Normally on Tuesdays is myself and Stephen. We are studying the Gospel according to Spiritism, and on Thursday sometimes it's most of the time is Nadia and Stephen. Sometimes Samantha joins us also, Tanya also, or also other special guests. But on Tuesday and on Thursday, normally we talk more about the Spiritist book. And on Sunday here, we have different speakers, such as myself, Stephen, Tanya, Samantha, Juliana, who come here, and Nate, who comes here and talk about Spiritism. Okay? So, guys, I don't think we have any more announcement to make. That's it. If you guys have any questions, we still have a few minutes. I mean, we are on time already, but if there is no questions, guys, thank you very much for everyone for being here today with us. And it was really nice to be talking again about Spiritism, about this topic, which for me is kind of a very important. But yes, guys, thank you very much. So we're gonna be doing our final prayer. Let me just. Okay. Let's take a deep breath again. Let's calm down ourselves. Let's thank God and the good spirit for the opportunity of being here today again, talking about Spiritism, about the gospel of our Master Jesus, and about these wonderful changes that maybe ourselves, this generation, won't be able to see it, but the future generations will see it and will rejoice. And we will see it for sure once we reincarnate here again. Let's be thankful because God is a loving Father. Let's be thankful for everything that we have. And also, let's remember the time that we're living at the moment, which is a difficult time of the coronavirus, which is taking away so many people around the world. And let's pray for those who are working and helping in the hospitals, on the streets, help those in need. Let's ask God that all the hearts and minds of those who are in power, of those who are in charge of countries, cities, these politicians. Let's ask God to give guidance to them because it's not an easy task for them at the moment to be dealing with politics and COVID. So let's pray to God to help them to take the best decisions to each one of us and for them also. Because let's remember, yes, they have power now, but their spirits like us fail, but still trying to perfect themselves. So may God help them and help everyone who is working to fight COVID-19 at the moment. Again, let's be thankful for everything that we have, the good and the bad things. Thank God and so be it. Okay. Uh, Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Fabio. Thank you very much, Linda. I'm glad you like Linda, Fabio, and everyone, guys. So, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today. It's not so sunny as Friday, but maybe the sun will come strong later, you know. As we say here in Dublin, in Ireland, we have 4 seasons in one day. So we may have rain and we may have sun. So thanks everyone. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Juliana. Thanks for all to be here. Stephen, Samantha, Patricia, Dani, Maria, everyone, guys, everyone. But guys, yes, that's it. Thank you very much and enjoy the day. Have a good Sunday. Bye.